Man, the trance day. That's it. You're going to go sit down for the trance? The trance. The trance, the trance, the trance. Okay. Let me teach. All right, or stay. It's all up to you, buddy. Anyway, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. I'm going to switch some stuff real quick because I was entranced with the Plumber King Corso. So, the trance, the connection, trance music, language, police, interrogation. Let's just get to the point on this. It's summertime. It's mid-first plot. People are upset, crying because they're in a trance because of the assignments, the grades, but yet you have no choice but to what? Improve the trance, the move. The connection runs deeper than people think. Now, I know people hear trance, they think, visual trance, attention is captured, right? Attention is captured. All right, go sit down, buddy. Go get your toy. Go. That's it. Yes. It's my fine, hairy, black-haired friend. The trance of you, the structure, the psychological foundation, the existence of structure to interview and interrogate. Yeah, for those of you that are law enforcement, you're saying, I'm going to jump off this channel. I know all about this. No, you don't. You have no freaking clue. Nothing. Because you never, ever in your buku days, months, years, decades of law enforcement, have you ever heard the trance, the music, the foundation of the trance language and audio? Yeah, trance music, look it up. I'm not going to play it because I don't want to get any copyrights, but if anybody wants to send me some cool non-copyrighted trance music for me to throw out there, send it in the chat. I'll bust it out, send the link to it. But it's linked, it's tied, all right? Interview and interrogation, the verbiage, the language, the kinesic, physical, the linguistic, it is a hypnotic, structured level of psychological, sociological influence. Now, the Supreme Court of the United States has even argued this. Yes, trance. If you don't understand what I'm saying, find out what trance music is. The state, the elevated awareness, the shift, behavior, psychological, sociological, where you're at, what you're going to do. Dance and look like a buffoon in the mud and the sand and in the snow and let it all go and let it hang loose. Kind of like being here on the show, right? So, the United States Supreme Court, when they discussed it, it was a 1954 case. Hold on a minute. Here. Yeah. Leyra versus Denno. Denno. Leyra. Leyra. 1954. Almost a trance-like submission. A submission, not submitting a form, but you submit, you yield, you tap out, like a tap out sticker, right? Hey, see my tap out sticker? I'm a tough guy. Tap out. It's a closure incident. It's a hypnotic-sounding technique in one's head that is psychological. It's linguistic. It's kind of like the words in your head that you can't shut off, the suggestive measure of give the answer, the suggestions and the disclosures of physical and kinetic. You're evolving, you're shifting, much like music changes your attitude. Interview and interrogation. There's no need to extract a confession because the one being interviewed and transitioned over to interrogation, they're already self-confessed. They're exhausted psychologically. They're tranced. They're pushed. They're wore out. They've worn themselves out. So, here's the connect, the full, total connect. We're not going to have a how to interview and interrogate school today. We're not going to have that I&I class, but we are going to talk about this. Trance language refers to the linguistic pattern, linguistic design that bypasses anyone's standard cognitive thinking level, cognitive thinking methodology. Your cognitive thinking, period, just done over. Why? It's worked on. It's instilled. It's a fundamental skill. Episodic memory recall, the law of learning, the law of intensity. It's so intense that you have to open up that limbic system of that file cabinet in your head to pull out these bypassing words, these behaviors, these actions. The interview is not an interrogation. It's an introduction. The set, the feel, the Milton method, the neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, right? Milton method. It's a method of neuroprogramming, the framework, how to communicate with you, the unconscious mind, how to tap it. I don't care if you like sports, but I'm going to find out what your team is. I don't care if you like the World Cup, but I'm going to find out what your team is. I'm going to find out why you're a fan of that team. The Milton Erickson's method of gaining therapeutic information through hypnotic process. Hypnosis techniques. It's simple, the ease, the mind, the moment. Kind of like, why do you think we have ambient? Not the pill. Think about what you're watching and hearing and what I'm saying, the ambient. Put it in the chat if you understand what I'm talking about. So the core Milton model for the pattern of extracting information with a hypnosis technique. It's embedded commands, embedded the words. An example, and then I went to work. What? You woke up, you went to bed, missing time, and then the embedded commands based on the word that tells you to disclose, 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 disc, disc, disc. You got dissed. That's why you got angry and stabbed him. Disc. Yeah, those little bitty alphabetics have importance. It's the interpretation of you subconsciously in your head. Hiding directives longer than sentences, there's plus and minus in this, all right? A full-blown run-out sentence, run-on sentence, it's not going to get you anything. It's going to confuse you as an investigator. It's also going to confuse the one being interviewed and interrogated. And for those of you that are being interviewed and interrogated or have been interviewed and interrogated, either in real world or training scenarios, you understand. The run-on sentence, the run-on dialogue is not a technique. It's not delivering a embedded command. It's look at me, I've got the power, I'm the man, I'm the read method, stress control. You might not even realize how good you feel when you allow yourself to relax. Relax, watch CJTV, learn something. You're not paying $2,000 or $3,000 for this information in a semester. You're getting it for free right here on CJTV, but it's not a replacement for a classroom. Sit back, relax, learn something, use the skill, use the Milton model. The words. That way, when you're dissed, you can document it and type it all out and put it on your disk. Whatever it may be. Some people prefer a thumb drive. Prepositions. Oh yeah, prepositions. That big word, assuming something true is in the question. Pre-suspicion. The preposition and the pre-suspicion. It creates pre-suspicion for the investigator because the investigator is already giving you those embedded commands. You're going to give the prepositions right back to the investigator, the oxymoron, the conclave of indifference. You're going to give it right back, and now you're allowing yourself to relax, but you're failing in the interview and interrogation. You're just putting a bullseye on your head. Everything that you're saying, there's a truth that is hidden somewhere, right? Pre-suspicions. You're going to lie. Everybody lies. Everybody's guilty. Everybody's a suspect. Suspicion's already there. The trance takes you out of that. It puts you into that mode of relax, to where your opposing word, your opposing linguistic selection is going to fail. That's the whole point of the trance method. It's the whole point of the Milton model of communication, the technique, the therapeutic method. The therapeutic hypnosis, relaxation, pacing and leading. Yeah, we're not talking about England and the pace method, okay? We'll talk about that too. But the pacing and the leading, it's matching the interviewee or subject or suspect's current experience, guiding them. There's something new here. All murder is murder. It's homicide. The manner and the means. For those terrible forensic pathologists, it's homicide. No, duh, dum-dum, they're on your table, dead. You think they're faking it? Manner and means. The pacing, the leading, assuming. It's much like matching a sex offender. Yeah, I saw a girl the other night in a bar too, man. She had to be everything at 21, but I found out later she was 13, and she was so hot. But it's the subject's experience that one can tie, the pace, the lead, the relaxation, the Milton level or model of identification, and putting one in the same environment. It's kind of like watching a movie with episodic memory recall. Someone sees something, and then wham, they switch over to that main character or main star's memory from the past. That's what you're doing, the pacing, the leading. Let me see what's going on in the portal chat. Yep, we got a new portal chat for students, those at the universities. Yep, it actually filled up pretty quick. Let's move on though. Nominalization, nominal, okay? Turning process into abstract nouns. Okay, the truth, justice, closure, something. Closure for the victim's family, no justice, no peace. Yeah, the nominalization. It's minimizing. It's suggestive. It's like a trance-like state, kind of like we had the show about crowds, protests. It's the trance. Follow the leader, follow the sheep off the edge of the cliff, because the nominalization words are now trancing the people in the crowd. We're now trancing you. Why do you think some investigators simply suck, man? Let me see what's happening here. Some investigators just simply are crappy. Why? Because they allowed the interviewee to nominalize what the investigator is saying. The questions, missing time, missing data, missing information. Yeah, there it is right there. Okay, cool. That's right. Yep, that's our portal, CJTV portal. So, the nominalization of it. Don't fall prey to that. Investigators, detectives, who would like to have a nominalization eye-and-eye session with me. No justice, no methodology or ability to interview. The same thing. Negative commands. Don't think about pink elephants or giant invisible elephants in the room. Negative commands. What is the negative command going to do? It's going to drop you down. It's the trance language. It's the shift of, I'm instructing you with an embedded command. Do not think of the pink elephant in the room, because the pink elephant in the room is non-existent. Yeah, the negative command, the deny, the brain's ability to not repent, not confess. But there's no coercion, but there's no denial. There's self-accountability, self-awareness of why you're there. So the negative commands structure you down. They push you down. That's the trance. That's the trick. It's the hook. It's kind of like Kentucky Fried Chicken. You're going to eat my chicken and like it too. Yeah, I like Popeyes myself. That's just me. Go on, buddy, lay down. Yes, my friend just heard chicken, and now he's wanting chicken, I guess. I don't know. I don't have any chicken, bro. So, controversial postures. Yeah, not the relaxed posture, not the you're presenting, you're talking, you're having a open scholarly linguistic review or conversation with somebody. That's not it. The posture, the defensive posture, the posture of, I've got you, now I'm going to lean into you, I'm going to make you confess, I'm going to now go from the Milton model straight to the Reed, aggressive, accusatory. Yes, you can blend the two, you can shift the two, you can change the trance of the language. It's like being a lawyer and being Stammer, Parliament, Prime Minister, using the abilities. No, I got a email the other day and something in a comment. Well, you do that too, man. Live streaming. Well, duh. Why do you think? CJ, investigator, detective, eye and eye, interview and interrogation. I've done it. I understand the technique and what it does kinesically. Forgive me, I'm moving portal stuff. But let's get back on. Where's this thing at? Yeah, there it is. Good grief. Glad this is being done academically. Yeah, me too. The topic already sounds like a documentary movie at a psychological level. Interrogation room, psychology. Well, that's what it is. It's what it is. Yeah, guys, it's right there. So, let's move. These patterns are not inherently unethical, okay? When you use a pattern such as this, controversial postures, identifying when to use them, not to use them, nominalization, negative command of what not to consider and what to consider during this interview and interrogation I'm performing on you, the pace, the lead, the suggestions, the guides, the words, the kinesic, the somewhere new, now, past, and beyond to be brought into the room, the embedded command of tell me you will like my chicken and confess at the same time. It's not unusual. It's not an inherently unethical. The United States Supreme Court decision, officers can, investigators can, to get the truth. Because why? It's the nominalization. The nominalization, protester, no justice, no peace, our streets, closure for the family, the truth, the guidance. The United States Supreme Court ruled it ethically practical for law enforcement to do this, to get to those nominalization factors that society likes to use against law enforcement during I&I, interview and interrogation. The standards, they're not off topic, and they're not topics of, hypnotherapy, so to say, but they are used in clinical hypnotherapy. Yes, clinical hypnotherapy, coaching, self-wellness, even effective parenting. Anybody see that Juneteenth shooting in Chicago? I think they ran out of item placards, not evidence placard. It's an item. It's an item to be considered. Everybody like that. Oh, it's evidence placard. It's an item placard. Item 1, item 2, item 3. To be collected as evidence on the scene, but not introduced into the court as evidence until it's allowed by the gatekeeper judge, the magistrate party. Linguistic, the nominalizations. Trance, you're being tranced here with the education process. But the powerfully precise words, the physical, the kinesics, linguistics, they bypass conscious resistance sometimes. It's kind of like the loophole around who's a liar, who's telling you the truth, who's giving you something real, who's filling your head full of crap, what is real and what is not. Let's move on a little bit. Let me check some stuff here. Yep, we're good. We're on Rumble, YouTube, and X. Yay. I don't ever watch X when I do this. I don't know why. Maybe because it's slow and glitchy and Xy. I don't know. I have no idea. It's just me today. I don't have any assistance today. It's just me. So if you get glitches, it's all me. All me. Now, we've covered the Milton method a little bit, the postures and the words and the methods of it. Accusatory introduction. The accuse, the hard, one would say the trance-like mechanism of force. The reed technique. Yep, the reed technique. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of the reed technique, but you got to understand what the reed technique is. Why? I've watched investigators over my lifetime, even in training, at academies training, and in federal entities training, and working with people that use this freaking technique, and they pound a submission into oblivion, and you don't get any information. You get broken. You get twisted. You get linguistic terms and run-on sentences that have no value whatsoever. Yeah, I know, guys. We're trying to handle it as academically as we can. Interrogations are more psychological than people think. Yes, they are, but they're only psychological when the interrogator or the investigator detective that is doing the interview and the interrogation is actually trained in multiple techniques, multiple ones. So the reed technique and other accusatorial interrogation methods create tight conditions that they function hypnotically as a trance introduction, but there's no instruction, even if interrogations don't call for that. The reed technique is just the technique that law enforcement predominantly relies on. The majority of law enforcement agencies in the United States that have interviewers, investigators, detectives, so forth and so on, CID, GIB, have never heard of the Milton method. They've never heard of the laws of learning, law of consistency, law of recency, inforaneous learning, inforaneous knowledge through continued practice. They don't know these things because they're not taught. Certified, bona fide, stamped on both sides in the academy. Go to some schools and voila, you've got Bubba the Investigator. This is the way it works. The trance interrogation, all right? Leading confession researcher. I kind of put this out because I wanted to actually talk about this. He's Saul Kassin, S-A-U-L, Kassin, S-K-A-S-S-I-N. The year, that really doesn't matter right here, but he's a leading false confession researcher, all right? Described how the reed style of interrogation works. Suspects are isolated in small windowed rooms, subjected to relentless accusation, denied every protest of innocence, and presented with fabricated evidence until they reach a state of learned helplessness and cognitive overload. That's a long, burnout, drug-out freaking fight for hours. It's a failure. It's an anger-inducing method. And it's 2026. The bad guys and the bad girls out there aren't scared of the investigators. They're not. They're not scared. So it takes skill. Now, you get these superstar, rock jockeys out there that are tough guys and tough girls and gangsters and superheroes, and then they break down in the I&I room and want mommy or daddy or, law enforcement. Some of you've seen it in the real world through YouTube. Those people exist, but the ones that are consistent, that are in the interview, the I&I room routinely, they've learned. It's just a beatdown method. It's psychological. It's kind of like having baby Jesus behind your head for everybody to see. I had pictures of every Jesus imaginable, every race. Yeah, I had another detective partner that had images of all the Disney characters with sad eyes and stuff, and I'm like, why are you doing this, man? But that was his fake elephant in the room, pink elephant in the room, especially if it's a case involving sexual assault in children. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not a controversial posture. It's a picture. It's not a pacing or leading measure. It's a picture. Everybody knows Bambi and the little baby kids around Bambi. Yeah. Normalization. Closure for the victims. Closure for those that won't go to the movies anymore because the child was abducted at the movies. Something as simple as that. Something as small and coercive as that. Without pounding reed all day long. It's just exhausting. God, it's exhausting. It also creates isolation. And guys, if you're watching this show, you got to understand that an investigation isn't just a TV show incident where it's within an hour, within a couple of hours. The person that has been on the run trying to stay away, right? They're wore out, man. They're tired. Trust me, they're wore out, they're tired, they're sleep deprived, bombarded with evidence that could or couldn't be real, but it's still a ploy at the same time. A huge ploy. So don't think that sleep deprivation is not part of it. And yeah, sleep deprivation for the officer as well. Yes, sleep deprivation for the officer as well. Let me adjust this. This thing's going crazy. Sleep deprivation for the officer. Back on topic. Now, in that specific read technique, when you have all of the exhaustion, all of the push, all of the relentless accusations, the comparative measures of real evidence versus false evidence, it's a bombardment of ploy. It's a bombardment of unreliable memory. So now the memory is being changed. The memory room. That's the title. Real events shift. Anybody ever talked to someone to where you know they saw something, but the information they're giving you, you know for a fact, is not reality. It's not what happened. Uh-oh. Sounds like a recent stabbing in Texas, doesn't it? Then the videos came out. Look at me. Case closed. The events, the memory. It's done on you too in society. The objective, the read, power down your face. The victims, no justice, no peace, down your throat like a hot, fiery icicle. And you fall for it. You fall for the sociological read, but you fall for the sociological Milton as well because of the words, the nominalization of detail, what the media wants you to hear, what the left wing, what the right wing, what the two wings of the dirty bird wants you to hear. All right, guys, we're shutting this down. Hold on a minute. No, I'm not shutting it down. I'm adjusting it. This thing is ridiculous bright. All right, cool. Much better. It's insane bright. So let's move on for a little bit. Maybe you're learning something. Let's talk about the trance language. Trance language, how it fits, all right? Types. 3 types of language that are entrancement, hypnotic, hypnosis. The ones, the things, the nominalization, the moderate, the coerced, the compliant. What are they? The type. The type of a confession with trance abilities being used. Psychological, hypnosis effect, hypnotic style, voluntary. There's no pressure. It's confession for the attention of reality or false confession for delusion. One of the two. It's minimal. Minimal need for Milton. Minimal need for pace. We'll talk about pace in a little bit. Minimal need for read. The coerced. The suspect knows he or she is innocent in a false confession and or knows he or she is guilty in a non-setting of forcing a false confession. The increase of pressure. One wants to escape the pressure. The trance condition of it, it's moderate. It's compliant with a little bit of exhaustion, mentally, psychologically. How many of you have had a long day at the office? Because that's what you do. The brain. And you're tired. Heck, think of me teaching 4 or 5 classes in one day. It'll burn you out. Yes. Coerced, internalized. The style, the type. I and I. The interviewee, the subject, person of interest, suspect, but comes to believe they committed the crime under a false confession standard. or the person that did commit the crime comes to believe truly that the nominalization and the misuse of the words and the bad structure of the Milton and the overpowerment of the Reed, now they're a victim and they didn't commit the crime because law enforcement chose a bad angle. Yeah, bad angle for I and I. That's scary in an interrogation setting. Yeah, it is, but guys, I'm just answering. Whoa. The heck did I do to that? There it is. Answering questions. Answering questions. You know what I need to do? I need to go ahead and adjust this. Stand by. Stand by. Yes, I'm adjusting, ladies and gentlemen. I know, interesting topic. Why didn't this guy have this set up? Because I'm by myself today. Yep, by myself. So, back to the trance language and how it fits into coerced, false, coerced, not false, but coerced for a true confession, all right? The coercion internalizes confession. Yes, it does. Coerced. You're coerced into that confession, even though you're guilty. Or coerced into a false one, but you were there, but you didn't commit the crime, and now you're coerced and forced to believe that you did commit the crime because you were there. You're accessory before, during, after. You're going to go to prison the same amount. The fear, yeah, the overwhelming psychological torment and damage of my life is gone. I hid the knife for somebody that stabbed somebody, so I'm accessory after. I might as well have stabbed them. Yes, I did it. The trance, the interrogation, dangerous intersection, not knowing when to shift methods, all right? The voluntary, the coerced internalization, and the concepts. Now, we're not saying all law enforcement suck at this. We're saying the majority of law enforcement in the United States and on the globe have no understanding of the different methodologies of I&I. The different methodologies of coercion and trance, the different methodologies of psychology and hypnotic tools for hypnosis reaction to get words and incite command for response. I know it's difficult. Some detective is going to watch this show and say, I hate this guy. He thinks he's the crap. Nope, I don't think I'm the crap. Maybe I just know more than you. The command, the elephant in the room is now you, the angry detective. Think about that for a minute. The interrogator, establishing rapport, okay? Everybody understands this, right? The authority, the pace, and the Milton, the leading. I'm the man. I wasn't a big fan of badges and guns in I&I room. Never was. You know, we had a commander one time who was like, always have your badge and gun in the I&I room. Why? They're chained to a freaking chair and a table. Yeah, if I'm that bad, that out of shape, then I deserve what I get. They're chained to a chair and a table. They already know I'm the power. I walk in without a gun and a badge, all relaxed. They know I'm even more of a power because there's no fear of them. I'm the man. You're chained to a table. Aha. Whammo electrico. Pros, ba-boom. Whatever the hell you want to use for a magical term. They're chained. It's leading. I'm already the one in command. The trance, all right? The subject is disassociative from you. The exhaustive state. They're already exhausted. They're stressed out. Even the ones that are professional long-term criminals that have the skill to weave, duck, dodge, weave, and manipulate you in the I&I room. They're still tranced out. They're still burnt at a specific level. You have to be the one that identifies that through the language, through the internal use of command on what you want to get, what someone wants to receive. The embedded suggestion. Yeah. Telling someone, let's not lie here today, that's a waste of your time. They're going to lie. Yeah. They're going to dissociate themselves from whatever it is you're working, whatever the crime is, whatever the scene was. That's the goal, man. Oh, You must have blacked out then. You have that medical dilapidation. They're going to agree with that or rebut that. All they're doing is giving you more firepower. Yeah, that was one of my favorite things. So you must have blacked out. Blame it on the medicine. Blame it on the physical abnormality of the body or the mind. Now we've got means to do more. Ward 4, more writ, psychological evaluation. We've got means to do more because during that psychological evaluation, somebody's going to admit or omit something. And guess who can get that? You. One will say, oh, it's a violation of HIPAA. Not if it's done through the actual structure of the court during the case and ordered by the court as a part of the case investigation. Ooh, good grief. Depends on how the what? District attorney does their job. Yeah. And obviously the judges, lefty judges, righty judges, whatever. A judge is a judge in my book. But you got to make sure you're selecting the right judge. And yes, law enforcement does do that routinely. Select judges. Judges on standby. Well, who's on standby? Oh, crap. Let me call Judge so-and-so, see if they'll give me 5 minutes, even though they aren't on standby. They know the one that's on call no one likes. We had judges like that. Yes, we did. Yes, I knew judges like that. The ethical divide. So let's talk about something. Ethics. Ethics aren't morals. Period. Take the life of one to save the life of many. The ethical choice. It's a moral wrong. Moral ought not. It's kind of like the ethical, if you've been in the university or college, fat man in the trolley. Do we throw the fat man over the bridge to stop the trolley that's run away amok, and the fat man's body can keep the trolley from killing hundreds of people because the fat guy's body will slow the trolley down enough to stop it? Yep. Big meat puppet. The ethics to it. Fat man in the trolley. You'd be surprised how many people get emotionally distraught about that. Dr. Gurley, why was this in a book? Why do people talk about this in a CJ system? I don't know. Why did somebody run it from a cop in Canada? Yeah, and a cop hiding down behind a barricade. If you guys have seen the video, all of you law enforcement, don't give me any babbling, coercive bullcrap. You would have probably shot him too. Yeah. The president's all black. Walk up and stand there, hands out like this. Probably, yeah, you're going to get your ass shot and killed. Yep. The response. It's a bad thing that it happened. But now we're going into the neuro-linguistic programming of this, aren't we? Threat, perception, the fear, the ethics, the divide of Milton, Reed, Pace, hypnotic, trance, suggestion, the words. The Milton model, it's a hypnotic language set, we know, patternization, neuro-linguistic styling, okay? It's designed to bypass the conscious thought. Inquiry clarity is what we're seeking here. The inquiry, we want it clear. It's kind of like scholarly research. The interviewee must be manually, kinesically, physically, cognitively aware that the interviewee is being asked questions. It's kind of like administering Fifth Amendment. Cognitive, available, understanding the words. Have them describe it back to you. Because what's going to happen for an argument for defense? Diminished capacity of understanding of constitutional privilege and right of Fifth Amendment. Yeah, same thing. The inquire of clarity in the Milton method. The artful vagueness doesn't work. Crystal clear characterization of words, place. Encourage the interrogatee, the one being interrogated, who is the listener, to interpret the statements, the ones you've just made. Thus, example, administering Fifth Amendment rights. Interpret this for me. What is your interpretation? Clear understanding. Can't be argued. On video, audio. Wasn't coerced. Understand. Yeah. Nothing was vague. Disclosure awareness. The trance. You're there. Comfort. Your comfort zone. Lay down, buddy. He still wants food. Lay down. Your comfort zone, the awareness, the disclosure of awareness. The interviewee must be maximized always, at all times, aware that they are choosing to disclose. It's kind of like putting a horse in front of a carrot. They make the choice. You make the choice to select a course. You make the choice for a career change. You make the choice to leave a career because the bosses are sucky bosses. They're not mentors and leaders. Disclosure awareness. Disclosure awareness in trance has a reward. What is the reward for the trance music? What is the reward for the read method? What is the reward for the confession? What is the reward for the interrogator to use read and beat themselves down and make themselves just as wore out psychologically and physically tired as the interrogatee or interviewee? There's no success story in that. The disclosure awareness fails on both sides because the one that is being interviewed or interrogated can see it happening to the interrogator, the law enforcement officer, the detective. I hate to say it, the inspector. I hate that. God, agencies calling their investigators and detectives inspectors. It was the Pink Panther all over again, man. I was never a fan of the Pink Panther. Accusatorial, the read. Validates both principles, man. Both principles. Trance, Milton. Read even validates itself and invalidates itself. Pressure. No, I'm not getting anywhere with this technique because the suspect doesn't realize they're being led on. They're too stupid to realize they're being led on, so how are they going to give you anything that you want if you're leading them on? Anybody ever had somebody say, hey, come with me, I'm going somewhere? Okay. Or did you ask? You're being led on to go somewhere with somebody. Did you make the inquiry? Did you make the inquiry for clarity? Milton method. Read, direction, clarity, exhaustion, hammer, accusatory, hammer, false generation, combine reality and falsehood to get a reality, psychological beatdown. So the one being led doesn't even understand or realize they're being led. And if you don't understand or realize you're being led, you're not going to give any constructive memory. You'll give false memory. You'll give fortuitous fictional memory that's made up just to put a close to the hammer, to the belligerent process of force. Just the way it is. Like I said, I would talk about the pace measures. Let's talk about pace before we close this fantastic episode out of creating false memories in the interrogation room, interview and interrogation. So we've talked about the Milton method. We've talked about read. So let's talk about pace. All right, pace. The UK, England, under turmoil right now. That place is going to go bankrupt. God, they're going to have a civil war all on their own. If you don't know anything about it, kind of keep up with it. All right, pace. Presentation, engagement, explanation, account, closure, and evaluation. Yes. So let's bust this down. It's a cognitive interview. Cognitive. It uses some trance-like elements subconsciously and psychologically, but it's not directly associated with therapeutic hypnosis to get down deep into the hippocampus, limbic system, the filing cabinet drawers of trauma. Because what's happening in the moment for peace to be used is there's an active investigation. Something's in the frontal cortex, all right? Understood. There is no mislead going on here. You're here for this specific reason. Presentation. That's why we have you here. We're investigating a murder and you're a primary suspect. Babango. Not, where were you last night? Not misleading, identifying, misdirectional caches of words to confuse somebody. Because now you've aided in the confusion. Preparation. Gotta have it. The rapport building is still there in the preparation and the engagement and the explanation. Why someone is there. It's hard for someone to duck, dodge, weave from being a suspect if during the engagement and during the explanation, after preparation, the one that is being interrogated, interviewed, knows exactly what law enforcement, the detective, the investigator, or the inspector has on them. And they know, internalized, they're done. Their goose is cooked. It's over. So the suggestive means of, let me try to trance the officer, it doesn't work. For those of you that are investigators, and you know exactly what I'm talking about, you've had it to where you've actually had a case to where you really didn't need to eye anybody because you had enough on them, man. It was there. You had enough on them to put them away, but you wanted to practice. So you went in there with the, you know, paralanguage, the kinesic techniques, the matching language, which is the rapport building, the NLPs, the pacing. Yeah, you're building cooperation framework for yourself, even though, you know, you've got everything you need on them, but you want to work it so that you can get compliance. You want the contextual reinstatement of the scene. Yeah, you can close your eyes and see it all. So can they. And they, being the interviewee, can give it all to you. So let's talk about that. The pace, the leading. Pace, leading, embedded commands, pre-suspicions, contextual reinstatements, so to say, and nominalizations. The therapeutic use for this, right? The pace and the lead. It's the rapport. It's the trust. It's the, get in the car with me, I'm going somewhere. Okay. The pace and the lead are already there. It's established control. That's dangerous. It's dangerous ground. Because if you get somebody that's intellectually or cognitively sound or has an education or scholarly background, they're going to see it. They're going to understand it versus the doofus Johnny Dangerously who did something dastardly stupid that has the education feature of this pen. Yeah, it's not dangerous. But if it's somebody that has a thought mechanism of mens rea, it's going to be dangerous for the investigation. Embedded commands. It encourages relaxation. Even during the, presentation. You're embedding the commands. The details. The trance-like elements. Remember the pace. The engagement. The explanation. It's an encouragement. It's a command. They're going to listen to you. You need to listen to me while I engage with you and explain while you're here, while I'm preparing you for the account itself. The direct accusatory questions before the closure. Yeah. It implants confession. Yep. Pre-suspicions. Everything's got a pre-suspicion. Everybody's a suspect. Everybody's guilty. It's taught in the academy. It's taught in I&I schools. It's taught in investigation schools. Doesn't matter where you go, what special, cool, federal, state, municipal, you're always going to hear the same thing. It's an assumption. It's assumed healing and assumed guilt at the same time. It's like a protest. No justice, no peace. It's assumed healing. The words. Yeah, it's not explanatory. It's nefarious. It's a drift. It's going to send you somewhere else. It's going to make your accountability for self-awareness in the moment vanish, vacate. Now, the assumption of guilt, it's going to be hard to convince the interviewee to feel that. Remember, fat man in the trolley, ethical, moral ought to, moral ought not, the contextual or context reinstatement, the trust building, the therapeutic use, memory retrieval, opening up memory drawers. How many of you have heard somebody, your friends, your family members, or somebody argue, or you know something happened a specific way, and it's all over the news, an agenda point of view? Well, hey, stabbing in Texas, right? Victim. Raining, hurricane, torrential, jumped by 4 white guys. Then the video is released. Oh my gosh, memory retrieval, false information, false confession, implantation. Yeah, the media does it. Law enforcement does it. Media does it because law enforcement does it also. And it's successful sometimes. It gets confessions, but it gets false information at the same time. That creates abstract comfort for law enforcement. It creates abstract comfort for society. And it then turns into an abstract threat Just like society. Well, the black people, we need to get all those white people before they get us. You guys have seen it all over social media. The white people, we need to get all the black people, the Muslims, the anti-Muslims, the same crap back and forth. It creates the abstract threat. That's because social media and your news networks are garbage with a giant G. Yeah. It works on direction. It works on context reinstatement for what it is presumed you want to hear and you want to see. But I'm sitting here looking, and I did this for a reason. The portal did this for a reason. It's amazing how many times people will come in and out of a live stream. And I've been on live streams with people and watched them and, chatted. And it's amazing how many times people come in and out because it's not captivating. It's the abstract comfort zone that you're not used to because you don't understand what in the hell is being said. So you jump in and out. You go somewhere else. It's an abstract threat now to you because there's no rapport here with you because it's not your sought out agenda of political garbage, misleading conceptual information, no embodiment of command for you to understand anything or stay on our NLP side, the neurological mapping of language. So people leave. They don't like it. Everybody does it, just like everybody has a little sadist in them. You laugh when people get hurt because it looked funny. That's why I did the university portal. Because I watch the University portal, watch Rumble, watch YouTube, I don't watch X anymore. Got rid of that one. That was always slow as crap. But it applies. Even the trance element of your favorite live stream show. They're guilty. How many of you watched all the shows of no justice, no peace, he's innocent, he did this, and all the politicians arguing black, white, crime, rain, torment, jump, and then boom, video comes out. Then there's the Montreal shooting. Well, the majority of law enforcement would have killed the innocent guy too that came around the brick wall black like a sucks that he's dead. But who walks up to a cop in the middle of a gunfight and stands there like this? You guys see the video? He got himself shot. Yes. The abstract threat awareness, the assumption of law enforcement assuming this is an aggressor, assumption of immediate guilt. Yeah, life-threatening, more ought to, more ought not. So to close this out, the bottom line of the room that recreates or redefines memory. The bottom line is trance language and interrogation are connected. Why do you think trance language and music is supposed to be relaxing? The tone, the flow, the environment that it's used in. It's connected because both operate on the same psychological machinery, your brain. Your brain is a psychological machine. Gray matter, white matter. Suggestion, yes. Dissociation, rapport, bypass, critical information, critical thinking because you're lazy or it's easy to be spoon-fed. Yes. You'd be surprised how many times I've watched different things in and out, shift, in and out, shift, in and out. It's even been noticed in the, right there, it's even been noticed in the portal. Yeah, this is a university portal. It's even been noticed there. But like, man, people just vulnerable minds is what it is. So remember, the difference is intent and consent. You either intend to commit a crime and consent to go to the interrogation room, or you get picked up and there's an intent to pick you up and send you there and interview you and interrogate you. There's a manipulation ploy here. It's trance-like, but it's designed to get an answer. It's designed to get closure, with and without documented consequences, internally and externally. Remember that. Consequences are here. Consequences are in a courtroom. Consequences are in real life. So remember that the next time you're out there with your dumbass giraffe suit and your protest signs and your Walmart paint anti-gas pink masks and your plastic rubber shields looking stupid. yelling, our streets, no justice, no peace, the indifference, the intent, the coercive interrogation of you on the street of yourself. Remember, your vulnerable mind broke under pressure. You fell straight flat on your face and subject to sociological, media, critical thinking skill, trance. That's what happened to you, man. Thanks for coming to the show. We're doing the calculated measure of mass shooting and why it's comes in a package every time it happens. That's coming soon. Subscribe. We don't care. Like. We don't care. We're not monetized. We're not making any money on this. This is something we do for scholarly ability and free. Nope, not a nickel is made. But if you would like to donate, Cash App, Mike G CJTV. I'm trying to get a little money because I got some researchers that are sick of junky printers. I agree with them. I want to get another printer for a regional center. Yes. Yep, direct, like log in internet. You can be in Timbuktu or Jamaica and select that printer and bam, it prints, and somebody 1,000 miles away or 2,000 miles away could get your print. Yep, that's what I want to invest in so that they could just back and forth. Source media stockpile of research gold. Have a fantastic day. Okay, we'll go eat, buddy. Lay down.